Excelsior, everybody. It's me, Shane. I know this video is coming out a tad bit late, but it's technically on time. I'm going to go ahead and just go over what we thought of Loki, the implications of Loki, and how the series did overall. So, before I go ahead and just get right into it, please remember to give me a like, comment, and subscribe. These things really help out the channel, and I'm just trying to grow it and make it better for y'all. So, let's go ahead and get right into it. I'm going to talk about what was really good about Loki first. We're just going to break it down. I'll give it a score, then I got to break into a whole bunch of other stuff because Loki, we all thought that was WandaVision, but technically it is Loki that's kicked off a lot of stuff. And I forgot to write something down, and this one's actually important. There we go. So, first things first, I got to shout out Natalie Holt. Natalie Holt is the composer for Loki. This soundtrack is astounding. I mean, I work out to some of the music, so especially Loki's main theme is called Green Theme. That's the one when you see him with the burn 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 burn. The main theme, I forget the name of it, but man, that music is amazing. The cinematography is great. You forget that some of these scenes are like small sets of green screen sometimes because they look really great. Like the Lamentus, the whole Lamentus part, that stuff looked amazing. Even the fights, fights going to choreography, but I'm gonna lump that into cinematography. Even the fights weren't dumb. Like the action scenes were great. Um, Obviously, spoilers if you haven't finished it. It's only 6 episodes, and it's worth a watch. It's worth if you, even if you can't watch it all in one day, spread it out throughout the week. It's worth watching. Um, Even the scenes where classic Loki is getting Aloe, Alarith or Aloeth, I forget the monster's name, getting his attention. Stuff like that was really, really interesting. The acting, first of all, Tom Hiddleston, number one stunner, number one guy. Just his acting, his facial acting is amazing, is on point. He makes me like this entire series makes me like Loki. Tom Hiddleston makes me like Loki. I didn't necessarily hate the character, and I'm talking about MCU wise. MCU wise, didn't really hate or care for him. It's just he was there. He was a necessary evil, so to speak. Which this show did a great job of more so highlighting that Loki's not necessarily evil. He's just mischievous. Although if you know anything about Norse mythology, if you know, you know. This is not the Loki from Norse mythology. This is certainly not the Loki from the early comics, which is kind of funny because Loki was always super mischievous, turning into a pigeon to stab at Thor, or actually turning into a pigeon to hide, and Thor had to find him by throwing popcorn on the ground, and other pigeons went for it but him. Just he went from mischievous, then he took over the Hulk, which is the reason why we have the Avengers, and then he slowly started dipping into evil and things like that. This series does a good job of kind of fleshing out, you know, Loki's inner turmoil. And I highly suggest you guys reading the comics, even if you can't get the physical copies. I prefer physical copies. Find these things online. Loki, Agent of Asgard was really good. Even the stuff when after Ragnarok, when Loki was in, Sif's body being Lady Loki, stuff like that was really great. And this show did a really good job of. It's hard for me to express it, but they they used a lot of source material, and they had some really great Easter eggs, not just from the MCU, but throughout comic books. You saw Thanos copter. We got to see Alligator Loki. We got to see Frog Thor. Got to see Kid Loki. We even got to see a hint of what if boastful this black Loki called boastful Loki. What if he had a hammer? Didn't necessarily say that was Mjolnir, but it's kind of implied. Um, just the this is one of the things I love. I love when comic books do this. When comic book movies do these things correctly. When you have source material, they're not directly ripping things out of the comics and putting them on the screen, but they are saying, "Hey, this is a thing that happened. I'm gonna use this, bend it to the story, and even if it's just an Easter egg, or even if it's just episode and a half of a thing, I'm gonna show you my version of it." which this show basically is, with the variants and things like that. It is showing variants of things. So it's in my opinion, it beats out the other two shows. No offense, Falcon and Winter Soldier. I feel like I was the only person that really liked that show. No offense to WandaVision people. Um, which the thing I wrote down is everyone misquoted Kevin Feige. Kevin Feige said you didn't have to watch WandaVision to watch the movies and know what's going on, which was half of a lie because her stuff does tie into the multiverse of madness. In this show, just the implications of it kick that off. But not to get too ahead of myself, I want to talk about acting again. Tom Hiddleston, most of the time, steals the show. Owen Wilson's great. Um, I can't remember the lady that plays Sylvie. She's great. I hate Renslayer's guts. The young lady, the one who I said I couldn't believe was a time agent, she was actually in the Hellboy reboot. Liked her way better in there. Granted, she has more lines, and her character has a little bit more depth. But yeah, I liked her better than that. Um, and the lady that played B-15, she did a good job because I hate that character got on my nerves so much, but she did a good job. But Tom Hiddleston was number one until we got He Who Remains. My goodness. Until Jonathan Major shows up as He Who Remains, aka a variant of Kang. Just, I know some people had issues with his silliness. This is a character in the MCU. This is a character who has spent eons since the beginning of time. He is now at the edge of time and slowly, going forward and more forward to a point where he can't see what's gonna happen. This character has been along for so long, minus Miss Menace, and Miss Menace was very creepy in this last episode. Like, man, Tara Strong voiced Miss Menace. Great job, BTW. Probably the third or fourth best character, competing with Owen Wilson's Mobius, third or fourth best character. When Jonathan Majors hits the screen, not only I feel overjoyed by the acting, I feel terrified because if this is a character who knows what's happening, who has allowed our heroes or our protagonists, if you will, to move forward with their plans and do everything they want to do, but they can't kill him until a certain point. This is a terrifying person. Like, the moment when he stops joking around and being jovial, I wish people would pay attention to ticks like that. He's just, when he plays full on Kang the Conqueror and not He Who Remains, who, again, I keep telling people that was an actual character in the comics. I won't shout out the cinemaphile who I do follow. She does a great job with everything that's a deep dive within the movie industry, and she does some comic stuff, but she's off sometimes. I won't shout her name out. In fact, it's Grace Randolph. She isn't. I'm small potatoes compared to Grace Randolph, but it's Grace Randolph. People like her who they they think that they don't realize that, again, Marvel took a character's name from they took a person name from the comics, reshaped it. Here's this guy. He's not playing more Immortus Iron Lad. He's not King the Conqueror until season two. Jonathan Majors steals the show by far. Um, what are some of the missteps? It's hard for me to find missteps. I kind of wish the series was longer, but it turns out that the Loki series is supposed to be even longer. I'm assuming it's supposed to be 10 or 12 episodes, but they cut it in half, and that's where we're supposed to be getting the second half. That's what I've read. Now, Kate Herron, who is the main director for the show, she's not coming back for season two. So either they've already shot things because there's a scene where Loki is an emperor. This could just be Marvel being Marvel because we've had fake scenes in trailers. The one thing that got me hyped for Infinity War was that big shot of everybody rushing forward. That never happened. It never happened. So could be a fake trailer kind of thing. Who knows? But apparently Sylvie's not supposed to show up again. That doesn't really make much sense. So we're the I guess what missteps is the show is short, so we're wondering what's gonna happen. We're left with no one remembering who Loki really is. Kang is ruling over the TVA. Another variant, probably the Conqueror, is ruling over the TVA. So who knows? One thing is, I pulled up here. Apparently, Loki season 2 is going to subvert fans' expectations. I hope you do it the Marvel way. Like Kevin Feige likes to keep things simple, but at the same time, you can guess all day and all night, and it'll swerve and it'll be a different thing. Most of the time, it'll be a different thing. I don't want it to be a Ryan Johnson, Ryan Johnson, the Last Jedi type of thing, where it's like, I want to subvert expectation. We're gonna kill Loki anyway, for real this time. No, I actually really do hope that Loki gets an interaction with Thor sooner or later. If it's not in Thor: Love and Thunder, which I really think it should be, I hope he does sometime somewhere in his show. Which coincidentally, Chris Hemsworth did voice the voice lines for Frog Thor when he's trying to get at the Mjolnir. But I digress. I'm hard pressed to find some missteps. I guess at times things seem to drag out. Episode 3 was the best. Yeah, the Lamentus one was not the Lamentus one. The one when they find the timekeepers. That was the best episode, and then them finding He Who Remains topped it for me. So some of the parts kind of drug out just a little bit, like trying to find Sylvie. That drug out a little bit. I can see, complaints for that being valid. But all in all, like out of five, I give this 5 out of 5 without question. I don't remember what I gave WandaVision, but I would go out on a limb and say I gave that a 4 out of 5 because of the ending and it not leading to X Men. Falcon and Winter Soldier, I know I gave a 5 out of 5 because of the real world implications of black man being the face of America. This show is without question 5 out of 5, and it's the best out of the three we've had so far. This movie, this show is actually better than most MCU movies. I hate to say that, but it's actually really true. Granted, you can do more with 6 episodes, equaling out to a 3-hour movie. I mean, Zack Snyder has proven, you know, you give a director, you give a story more time, you're able to get things like this. Now, you can't have 3-hour, 4-hour movies all the time. But shows are a really great place to highlight characters. They've shown once again highlighting a character's flaws and personality traits are really great for these Disney Plus shows, and I really do hope they continue, especially since they're bringing in more little known characters to casual viewers and people who don't read comic books. So again, 5 out of 5. What is the implications for Loki? I'm glad you asked. So August 11th, we're getting What If. And I thought What If was just a series, a collection of cartoons saying, hey, what if this happened? But it turns out this is part of the actual MCU. This isn't a cartoon like Avengers Assemble or Ultimate Spider-Man or Web Warriors. This is an actual animated, looks well animated series that is part of the MCU. It is, if I wrote this down correctly, I believe it is 10 episodes. So it starts August 11th and is calculated to end October 13th. August 11th to October 13th. That's 10 episodes. That's funny enough. That's longer than Loki. But one of the things in this is Chadwick Boseman's last voice appearance. This will be the last time we hear him. Is him being T'Challa, but T'Challa is Star Lord. He is a Ravager. Uh, I'm looking forward to hearing him. You still get kind of teary when you hear his voice in the trailer. I advise you to watch both trailers, especially the new one that just came out. We're getting Captain Britain. We're getting Peggy Carter if she took the super soldier serum, and tiny little skinny Steve is in the Iron Man suit. Apparently, Doctor Strange is going to be in this series, but Benedict Cumberbatch isn't voicing him. People are up in arms saying, "What does that mean?" Guys, we just had a show about variants. It can easily be a variant, or it could just be Benedict Cumberbatch wasn't available and they had to get somebody else. wait and see type of thing. The fact that this ties into the MCU, this is the after effect of Sylvie killing He Who Remains and the timeline being splintered and scattered, and now we have different universes once more. This is how we get X Men, just flat out. This is how we get X Men. I mean, for all we know, He Who Remains clipped several of those X Men universes, and that's how we get from the Singer stupid verse to Logan to the First Class stuff that doesn't make sense. That time seems to be messed up in there. Feige thinks 5 to 10 steps ahead. uh, what comes out of this is I'm gonna go show wise. Actually, I'll go in order. So it's this. Then in September, on September 3rd, it is Shang-Chi. I still want to say Shang, but Shang-Chi. No, and then where are you guys? The Eternals are somewhere in here, and through editing magic, I can tell you that they're supposed to come out November 5th. After Eternals, I really don't care about that movie. After Eternals is Hawkeye, which is in November 24th. Then it's Spider-Man, was supposed to be on Spider-Man 3. Uh, No Way Home, I think, is December 17th. Now, Miss Marvel was supposed to come out within this first slate of shows to, introduce her for the Captain Marvel sequel known as The Marvels, because they have no faith in Brie Larson to be a main character because she speaks her mind. People get upset when you speak your mind. She's like Scarlett Johansson, but on a different side of the spectrum. I'm just gonna go out on a limb and say I think Miss Marvel is gonna come out in January, flat out. Kind of like how they had to move WandaVision. That show's gonna come out in January. So, what if Shang-Chi, Eternals, Hawkeye, and Spider-Man, and then somewhere in there is Miss Marvel. It's 6 things, 3 shows, 3 movies. And the crazy part is the Eternals in their trailer say they never had to interfere until now. Probably have to interfere now because the multiverse is spiraling out of control. And Kang is probably causing a lot of turmoil. The kickoff point is Loki. I advise everyone to watch Loki. I advise you to watch all of these things. They casted Oscar Isaac as Moon Knight. I'm excited for Moon Knight because I love Moon Knight. Can't wait to get to tell you guys about that. We have we have our She-Hulk. I can't remember her name. I'll get to her when I talk about She-Hulk. we have both of those coming out. On top of that, the Blade is coming sometime in probably 2023. Wakanda Forever is gonna come out. Quantum Mania, which is gonna tie into the whole Kang thing because Kang is gonna be in there. That's coming out. We have so many things, and let's not forget if you haven't seen Black Widow, spoiler, the ending of Black Widow, that secret, well, that after credit scene, or after credit scene ties into Hawkeye. Is Yelena gonna try to kill Clint? I doubt it because she would trust her and her sister, but we will see. So much great stuff is coming out, and honestly, Loki is the kickoff point for it. That's another reason why I give it a 5 out of 5 without question because it has, and I wrote here, it has not built a world, it has built an entire multiverse universe. And how could I forget? Multiverse of Madness comes out in March, the March that's coming up, and that ties in with Spider-Man and with WandaVision because Wanda's going to be in there. We're going to get Speed and Wiccan, but one of the smartest things they chose to not say is that it also ties in with Loki. Multiverse of Madness makes tons of sense now. I'm looking forward to the next what is it 6 months? Sorry, 8 months of Marvel. Strap on your seatbelts, everybody. It's gonna be a great ride. Please, 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 please check these things out if you haven't. I always suggest that you guys watch these things. Tell me what do you think of all the shows so far that you've seen. What's your favorite? What's the best one in your opinion? Have you seen Black Widow? What do you think of Black Widow? Are you excited for What If? What If is in 2 weeks? Are you excited for Hawkeye? Tell me all these things in the comment section below. I'll answer any questions that you have as well, since apparently amongst my friends I am the Marvel guru. Well, comic guru in general. But please, any questions, I am happy to answer them. once again, thank you for showing up. Please give me a like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell, get notified of more videos like this. Hit the share button, show it to everybody what a great time we're having. Say, hey, this guy here, he's super right. Or this guy here, he's super wrong. I want you to see how wrong he is. I welcome any and all forms of debate. Respectful debate. As always, be good, be blessed. Wash your hands, wear a mask. It's getting crazy out there. Black Lives Matter. Be good to yourself and others. Please don't be a jerk. And I will definitely see you next time.